Hello children, today we are going to discuss the seventh chapter of your history. The name of the topic is Tribes, Nomads and Settled Communities. You saw in chapter 2, 3 and 4 how kingdoms rose and fell. Boys, in chapter 2nd, 3rd and 4th, there you find how that means different kingdoms, it rose, it started and it fell down, okay. So even as this was happening, new arts, crafts and production activities flourished in towns and villages. So even as this was happening, new arts means that is a creative skill of human, and crafts means skill in making things by hand, and production activities flourished means it grow and develop in a healthy way in towns and villages. Over the centuries, important political, social and economic developments had taken place. So over the different centuries was important political, social and economic developments had taken place in different times or different centuries was. But social change was not the same everywhere because different kinds of societies evolved differently. So as we find here, over the centuries, the important political, social and economic developments taken place. Okay, but social change was not the same in each and everywhere. There was quite different because different kinds of societies evolved differently. It is because of different kinds of societies they developed gradually differently. It is important to understand how and why this happened. So, boys, it is important to know, to understand how and why this happened, that as it was developed gradually differently. Okay, that one. In large parts of the subcontinent, society was already divided according to the rules of Varna. So boys, in a large part of this Indian subcontinent, boys, society, it was already divided according to the rules of Varna. Varna means caste. It was divided in different castes. These rules, as prescribed by the Brahmanas, were accepted by the rulers of large kingdoms. So these rules, you see, as prescribed by the Brahmanas, were accepted by the rulers of large kingdoms. The difference between the high and low and between the rich and poor increased. Here in this period we find the difference in between the high and low and between the rich and poor, it increased. Under the Delhi Sultans and the Mughals, this hierarchy between social classes grew further. So, yes, that means Delhi Sultans was ruling here at the time. The Mughals, okay, or at the Mughals time, this hierarchy means it is a system in which members of an organization or society are ranked according to relative status or authority. So this hierarchy between social classes grew further. Beyond big cities, tribal societies. Now let's see this one. There were, however, other kinds of societies as well. So there were, however, that other kinds of societies also there. Many societies in the subcontinent did not follow the social rules and rituals prescribed by the Brahmanas. So many societies, boys, in the subcontinent, they did not follow, okay, the social rules and rituals prescribed by the Brahmanas. Yes, the rituals which was prescribed by the Brahmanas. Rituals means a religious ceremony consisting of a series of actions performed according to, okay, so it was prescribed by the Brahman, so that did not follow, okay, by several people. Nor were they divided into numerous unequal classes. Nor were they divided people into different unequal classes. Such societies are often called tribes. So among them there is no Brahman, Shudra, Khetri, Vaishya like that. So that societies are always known as tribes. So here we find who are the tribes. Okay. So in tribes there is no any differences in caste, creed. Okay. Members of each tribe were united by kinship bonds. So members of among the all tribal, they were united. They were united by kinship. Kinship bonds means a family relationship bond. Many tribes obtained their livelihood from agriculture. So many tribal people, they obtained their livelihood to sustain their life. Okay, they get it from agriculture by cultivating land. Others were hunter gatherers or herders. Others, they were hunter gatherer. Hunter gatherer means a member of or nomadic people who live chiefly by hunting or gathering. Okay, by hunting animals or gathering food like that. Or herders. Herders means those who used to domesticated animals or look after the cattle. Those who look after the cattle, they are known as herders. Most often they combine these activities to make full use of the natural resources of the area in which they lived. So they always combine these activities that work, okay, hunter gatherers or herder work to make full use of the natural resources of the area in which they lived. Some tribes were nomadic and moved from one place to another. Some tribals among them, they were boys nomadic. Nomadic means wanderer. Wanderer means they do not have their permanent settlement. They used to move from place to place, okay, and live in different places. A tribal group controlled land and pastures jointly and divided this amongst households according to its own rules. So a tribal group have controlled this land and pastures. Pastures means land which is covered with grass and low plants suitable for grazing animals jointly, and divided this amongst households according to its own rules. So they jointly what used to do, you see a tribal group control land and pastures jointly, and they divided these amongst households. Households means a house occupied, okay, it's according to its own rules. Many large tribes thrived in different parts of the subcontinent. So many large tribes, large group of tribal tribe, okay, they prospered or flourished in different parts of the subcontinent. So here it indicates the Indian subcontinent, okay, about our India. They usually lived in forests, hills, deserts, and places difficult to reach. So these tribe people, they usually, most probably, they used to live in forests, hills, deserts, and places where it is difficult to reach. Sometimes they clashed with the more powerful caste-based societies. Sometimes they used to clash with what? With the more powerful caste-based societies. Okay. In various ways, the tribes retained their freedom and preserved their separate culture. So, in different ways, okay. This tribal, they continue to have their freedom and preserve their separate culture. Whatever culture is tribal people they have, okay, means about that. But the caste based and tribal societies also depended on each other for their diverse needs. So you see, but you see here, this caste based and tribal societies also depend on each other. Okay, for different purposes, they each of them, whether caste based or the tribal societies, they depended on each other. This relationship of conflict and dependence gradually caused both societies to change. So was this relationship, okay, the relationship between this caste-based group and tribal societies, okay, of conflict and independence gradually caused both societies to change. So conflict means argument was or disagreement, and dependence, okay, slowly caused both societies to change. Who were tribal people? Tribal, okay, the beginning of this chapter we have learned about tribal. Now let us see who were tribal people. Contemporary historians and travelers give very scanty information about tribes. So contemporary boys, it means living or occurring at the same time, and then historians and travelers, they used to give very scanty, okay, very scanty information. Scanty means not enough, very less information about tribes. A few exceptions. Exceptions means here excluded from a general statement. Apart, tribal people did not keep written records. So, a few exceptions are there. Okay, excluded from a general statement. Apart, where tribal people did not keep written records, but they preserved rich customs and oral traditions, but they used to preserve rich customs and oral traditions. Okay, see, oral traditions means belief from generation to generation. These were passed down to each new generation. Present day historians have started using such oral traditions to write tribal histories. So today boys, these days at present days, historians, they have started using such oral traditions to write tribal histories. Tribal people were found in almost every region of the subcontinent. Tribal people was, they you see were found in almost every region of the subcontinent. The area and influence of a tribe varied at different points of time. So the area and the influence means to have an effect on the character of a tribe. It is varied at different points of time. Some powerful tribes controlled large territories. Some powerful tribes are there who control large areas, large territories. In Punjab, the Khokhar tribe was very influential during the 13th and 14th centuries. So boys, in Punjab, the Khokhar tribe, Khokhar, it is a group of tribe there in Punjab. Okay, they was very influential during the 13th and 14th centuries. Later, the Gakhars became more important. Afterward, that means this Gakhar community, Gakhar tribes, they became more important. Their chief, Kamal Khan Gakhar, was made a noble by Emperor Akbar. So the chief of these Gakhars, okay, whose name was Kamal Khan Gakhar, was made a novel by Emperor Akbar. In Multan and Sindh, the Langas and Arguns dominated extensive regions before they were subdued by the Mughals. So boys, in Multan and Sindh, you see, the Langas and the Arguns, they dominated extensive regions before they were subdued. Subdued means quite of smaller, reflective or depressed, okay, by the Mughals. You see different tribal groups name it has mentioned here. The Baluchis were another large and powerful tribe in the northwest. So from northwest, the Baluchis were the large group of tribes there. They were divided into many smaller clans. Okay, they were again boys divided into many smaller clans. Clans means a close knit a group of interrelation families. Okay, so under different chiefs. In the western Himalaya lived the Sephard tribe of Gaddis. The distant northeastern part of the subcontinent too was entirely dominated by tribes, the Nagas, Ahoms, and many others. So was the distant place of northeastern India or subcontinent. Here what happened? It was also entirely dominated by tribes. The name of those tribes are the Nagas, Ahoms, and many others. Okay, Naga, Kuki, Maring, Chote, like that. Okay. So all those are known as tribes. In many areas of present-day Bihar and Jharkhand, Chero chiefdoms had emerged by the 12th century. So was in many areas of present-day Bihar and Jharkhand, Chero chiefdoms had emerged by the 12th century. Chiefdoms means here was leadership, okay. Then emerge, it means become apparent, okay, by the 12th century. Raja Mansingh Akbar's famous general attacked and defeated the Charos in 1591. So Raja Man Singh, you see boys, what he has done. Raja Man Singh, Akbar's famous general, attacked and defeated the Cheros in the year 1591. A large amount of booty was taken from them, but they were not entirely subdued. Okay, but you see, they are not subdued. They are not, that means, quite poor. Under Aurangzeb, Mughal forces captured many Chero fortresses and subjugated the tribe. So, yes, that means Aurangzeb was ruling. Under his rule, these Mughal forces, they captured many Chero fortresses and subjugated the tribe. Subjugated means being under domination or control by the government. See, in many areas of present day Bihar and Jharkhand, Chero chiefdoms had emerged by the 12th century. Raja Man Singh, Akbar's famous general, attacked and defeated the Cheros in 1591. Raja Man Singh, okay, he was the famous general of Akbar, attacked and defeated the Cheros in the year 1591. A large amount of booty, okay, was taken from them. So a large amount of, say, it was taken from them, but they were not entirely subdued. Okay, but they are not entirely subdued, means quiet and rather reflective or depressed. See, a large amount of booty was taken from them, but they were not entirely subdued. They were not entirely here, quiet and rather reflective or depressed. Under Aurangzeb, Mughal forces captured many Chero fortresses. Under the rule of Aurangzeb, Mughals forces captured many Chero fortresses and subjugated the tribe. Subjugated means being under dimension, being under domination or control. That means you must know it is being under control. So what happened? Aurangzeb Mughal forces captured many Chero fortresses and subjugated the tribe. The Mundas and Santals were among the other important tribes that lived in this region and also in Orissa and Bengal. So the Mundas and Santals, they were among the other important tribes that were the tribes that lived in this region and also in Orissa and Bengal. So they used to live there also, and as well as they used to go in Odisha and Bengal. Sorry, boys. The Maharashtra Highlands and Karnataka were home of Kolis. Kolis, it is a tribal group who used to live there in Maharashtra Highlands and Karnataka Highlands. Then Veras and numerous others. Kolis also lived in many areas of Gujarat. Further south there were large tribal populations of Koragas. So apart from that, okay, further south there were a great number of tribal people fellow there. Then what happened? They spread in different parts of India. By the late 16th century, many of them had become settled agriculturists and some even zamindars. So by the sea boys, by the late 16th century, many of them they had become settled agriculturists and some even zamindars. Many Bhil clans nevertheless remained hunter-gatherers. So here many say Bhil clans means many many Bhil clans nevertheless remained hunter-gatherers. So this group, that is Bhil group, okay, the clans, they nevertheless remain hunter-gatherers. The Gonds were found in great numbers across the present-day states of Chhattisgarh. The Gonds, they were found in great number across the present-day Chhattisgarh state, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. How nomads are mobile people lived. So how nomads, they are mobile people lived. Nomadic pastoralists moved over long distances with their animals. Nomadic pastoralists, they used to go over long distances with their animals. They lived on milk and other pastoral products. Okay, they used to consume milk and other pastoral products which are available there. They also exchanged wool, ghee and etc. with settled agriculturists for grain, cloth, utensils and other products. So they also used to change, okay, giving and taking, okay, the system. Suppose somebody has given you cloth and you have provided to him, say, rice, like that, okay. So they also exchanged wool, ghee, etc. with settled agriculturists for the grain, cloth, utensils and the other products. So boys, here they themselves also exchanged wool, ghee, etc. with settled agriculturists for grain, cloth, utensils and other products. See here figure 2 and 3 what it has written. You just get through this. They bought and sold these goods as they moved from one place to another transporting transporting them on their animals. So they bought and sold these goods, okay, as they moved from one place to another. Means this way they used to do business. Then transporting them on their animals. So on their animals, okay, they used to enjoy the transport here, okay. The Banjaras were the most important trader nomads among those, that means all that traders nomads, Banjaras were the most important. Underline this and know it, okay. Their caravan was called Tanda. Then caravan, their caravan, it was known as Tanda. Sultan Aladdin Khalji in chapter 3 used the Banjaras to transport grain to the chili factories, chili markets. See, their caravan was called Tanda, and Sultan Aladdin Khalji in chapter number 3 used the Banjaras to transport grain to the city markets. Emperor Jahangir wrote in his memories that the Banjaras carried grain on their bullocks from different areas and sold it in the towns. Banjaras, they used to purchase or carry from their own house. See this paddy or cows like that. Okay. So carried grain on their bullocks from different areas and sold it in towns. They transported food grain for the Mughal army defeating during military campaigns. So at the time of military campaigns, okay, this what happened that they transported food grain for the Mughal towns. They transported food grain for the Mughal army during military campaigns. So the transportation of food grains or the Mughal army during military campaigns. With a large army, there could be 1 lakh bullocks carrying grain. Say with a large army, there could be say 1 lakh bullocks carrying the grain. Apart from this boys, to know about this Banjaras, you read out this okay properly. Many pastoral tribes reared and sold animals such as cattle and horses to the prosperous people. So many pastoral tribes, that is many grazing sheep or cattle, that grazer tribes, they reared and sold animals such as these cattle and horses to the prosperous people. They used to sell it to the prosperous people, okay, to the rich person. Different castes of petty peddlers also thrived from village to village. So here what happened, what we find, different castes of this PT means here, PT peddlers, PT means potteries, okay, at all soldiers lived to join of a grassy family, okay. So what happened here, they made and sold wares such as gloves, wreaths. Wreaths means that rough straw matting and coarse sex. Sometimes mendicants acted as there were castes of mendicants acted as wandering merchants here. Okay, sometimes this mendicants means give a begging, acted as wandering merchants. There were castes of entertainers who performed in different towns and villages for their livelihood. There was caste of different entertainers who can entertain us, who can give us joy, happy like that, who performed in different towns and villages. For it is for their livelihood, to sustain their life, to save their life. They used to work there. Okay, so that's up to here now. Thank you all.